What is our first main topic today?
Our first main topic comes from Great Gabthar's Hammer. With the upcoming Last of Us adaptation and the recent release of Uncharted, which I personally enjoy, though I understand why most were lukewarm to it, it looks like we have some more PlayStation titles in talks for adaptation. A recent investor briefing at Sony has mentioned a Horizon Zero Dawn Netflix series, a God of War Amazon series, and a Gran Turismo project, which has yet to be attached to any streaming service. Throw in the Ghost of Tsushima movie and a Twisted Metal project, and it seems Sony, and more specifically PlayStation Studios, are going all in with their video game adaptations.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that. Obviously, we had the wrong email graphic there. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so yeah, look, it was really interesting that a little while ago, well, let's rewind a little bit more. Sony came out a while ago and announced that they were setting up PlayStation Studios because they realized, look, we've got all this exclusive, high-profile IP that people love. It's time for us not just to try to make one or two. Let's actually create a dedicated arm that's completely focused on taking these IP and translating them to the big screen. We already had Uncharted come out to mixed reception, but it did pretty well financially for them.
$396 million.
And there are some people like Ray who absolutely love the film. I mean, so there it is. I mean, it was a little wanting for me, but I didn't have a bad time at it, whatever. But they're off to a bit of a start here, and they've got a lot of property coming out at the same time. Last of Us is coming. That's being made on HBO, which is incredible. Now, we heard a little while ago whispers about them heard some reports that they were going to do God of War. Well, now it is officially official, as the Sony, the Sony head came out and said, yep, it's done. We're going to be absolutely doing God of War. And on top of that, we're going to be doing Horizon. So this is what they wrote. This comes to us from CBR, who wrote the following. Originally released as a PlayStation 4 exclusive in 2017, before eventually launching on PC in 2020, Horizon Zero Dawn is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi game set in a far future, post-apocalyptic Earth overrun by gigantic robotic animals. In order to survive, humans have cut themselves off from technology, living in fear of the beasts. The story follows Aloy, I hope I'm saying her name right, voiced by Ashley Birch, who embarks on a journey to find her mother and discover what unleashed the robots upon the world. Now, this is really interesting too, because what was the name of that J.J. Abrams show we were talking about yesterday?
Fringe?
Demi-Monde?
Oh, Demi-Monde. Yes.
Demi-Monde?
Demi-Monde.
What did they say? It was about loose French women? Yeah.
About Chris and Aaron, yes.
Well, that's PlayStation Studios, because they're playing with everybody.
Boy, I missed out.
Because
what a day for Rob to be
you the whole
gone.
time, Rob.
because they're doing Last of Us with HBO. They're doing God of War with Amazon. And they're going to do Horizon Zero Dawn with Netflix. So they're spreading the goodness around. Everybody's going to get a little taste, which is great because, listen, I've always said for a long time, the reason that most video game movies, almost all of them, have sucked is because of one underlying principle that nobody wants to admit. Video game stories are not made to be narrative stories in a linear storytelling format. They're meant to accent a game. There have been, though, especially a couple in the last few years, that really do lend themselves to very good linear storytelling, whether that is a Last of Us, which I cannot wait to see what HBO does with that. God of War is absolutely one of those. The story of God of War is so great and so compelling. It's absolutely wonderful. But I will tell you right now, I don't know anything about Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, obviously I've seen the game all over the place, but I've never watched a cutscene movie of it. I really don't know much about it. But hey, if it's one of those ones, if it's on the level of a Last of Us or God of War, this can't be bad. Anyway, Rob, you're hearing about this. When they first announced PlayStation Studios, a lot of people were, yeah, but what does that mean? They'll come up with one little project or whatever. They seem to be very, very serious about this. They're moving full steam ahead. What do you make of this?
Well, when we first saw Uncharted, we saw the logo. I remember us talking about
first time we saw it.
First time that logo, the PlayStation Studios logo. One of the things that I was what? Back in February, they announced the Twisted Metal series for Peacock that Anthony Mackie is starring in. Now, when I bought my PlayStation 3, actually it was bought for me, when I was gifted with the PlayStation 3 back in, I want to say 2007, one of the games that I could not get enough of was Twisted Metal Black. And it was crazy. And so I didn't until just now. Listen to this. The half-hour action comedy, we'll see Mackie play John Doe, a smartass milkman who talks as fast as he drives. With no memory of his past, John gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make his wish of finding community come true, but only if he can survive an onslaught of savage vehicular combat. With the help of a trigger-happy car thief, he'll face savage marauders driving vehicles of destruction and other dangers of the open road, including a deranged clown who drives an all-too-familiar ice cream truck. Now, I remember hearing this. I'm like, to me, this is the greatest thing ever. And now that we're getting a God of War, we're gonna get God of War, and we're getting, Last of Us, and we've got it's Craig Mazin who did Chernobyl.
Yep.
And did Limitless, the television series.
It's we're getting. This is amazing. If it's good, we're getting highbrow stuff, like you said, and they're spreading the wealth across multiple outlets. So, if they can keep the level of, I can't believe they're doing Twisted Metal Black, but if they keep the level high, we should be getting some good entertainment.
It's funny too. This kind of doubles down on a conversation I was having about Sony in general, because there's been a lot of discussion lately about, Sony's the only major studio without a streaming platform. Is that going to hurt them? But we found out at CinemaCon, Sony's like, nah. All you fools want to do streaming services? By the way, I love the streaming service. Don't get
right.
Because we're going to sit back. We're going to be the only studio that stays exclusive to producing this stuff. Y'all can throw your money at us.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they're doing now. They're making all this product. It's like, you guys create these streaming services that you're starving for content. We'll let you throw all the money at us, and we'll produce this stuff and feed out. And they're doing business with HBO. They're doing business with Amazon. They're doing business with Netflix.
They don't have
Peacock.
any exclusivity.
They don't have any exclusivity, and they are laughing all the way to the bank right now. Anyway, Aaron, you hear about these video game adaptations coming, but also the fact that it seems to double down on this principle, this philosophy Sony seems to have, we'll create it, you buy it from us. What do you take away from this?
Well, what's also, interesting about, going back to Uncharted, and we talk about how it didn't necessarily have the best critical response. I think it had a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score was 90%. So clearly it was
Ray feels sweet justification.
Specifically because Ray was going on creating a lot of online profiles that were all fake and voting. Yes. But the movie also, when we talk about what makes a movie viable financially, we have to, it's not just how much money it made. The movie made almost $400 million, but it's also how much the movie was made for, so that you can compare those things. The movie was made for around $120 million. If these video game movies can stay in the $100 to $150 million range, and they can come out and even make $200 million, they're still coming out on top. And as long as they're making more than they're spending, technically it is a box office success. We also see movies, they're historically video game movies have not necessarily done well. But then that is balanced out by a franchise like Sonic the Hedgehog, which has done exponentially well and is based on video game IP. And IP is where it's at. I recently had a conversation with my management company, the same management company who produced Uncharted. And we talked about this trend, and they said our focus as a company is IP. So they were like, if you have any interest in writing a book, in acquiring anything that is available, get it, because our whole thing is about building upon existing IP. That way you don't have to rely on writers and creatives coming up with everything. There's already something there. And I think that Sony made a great decision by saying, we're going to let you guys spread yourselves thin creatively. We're going to focus on what we know, and we're going to create an entire division on existing IP that can, as you said, have a life in film, have a life in streaming, and have a life in all these different...
And already does in games.
Already does in games, that already has a big following. And I love the fact that they are, they're not just sticking to one platform. They're kind of doing a flight. If you're not exactly sure which whiskey you prefer, you can do a flight of whiskeys, and you can go, I like that one. So that's what I'm comparing this to, because I'm a drunk.
Me too.
Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Sony has now made it official. Zero Dawn Horizon is moving forward. God of War is moving forward. They also got Gran Turismo, who they haven't picked a dance partner with yet for that, but that's coming as well. Lots of stuff coming. What do you think about their approach right now? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.